Good afternoon, everyone. I am Lady Jane Pais Ulud from BPE 1A. Today, we will discuss about formulating your philosophy of education. Here is a sample of a philosophy of education. Let's read the example of teacher Macrina's philosophy of education. My philosophy as a grade school teacher. I believe that every child has a natural interest in learning and is capable of learning, is an embodied spirit, can be influenced but not totally by his or her environment, is unique, see comparing a child to other children has no basis, does not have an empty mind, rather is full of ideas, and it is my task to draw out these ideas. She also believed that there are unchanging values in changing times, and these must be passed on to every child by my modeling, value inculcation, and value integration in my lessons. I believe that my task as a teacher is to facilitate the development of every child to the optimum and to the maximum by reaching out to all children without bias and prejudice towards the less of the children, making every child feel good and confident about him or herself through his or her experiences of success in the classroom. Next is helping every child master the basic skills of reading, communicating in oral and written form, arithmetic and computer skills. So teaching my subject matter with mastery so that every child will use his or her basic skills to continue acquiring knowledge, skills and values for him or her to go beyond basic literacy and basic numeracy. And inculcating or integrating the unchanging values of respect, honesty, love, and care for others, regardless of race, ethnicity, nationality, appearance, and economic status in my lessons. Consistently practicing these values to serve as model for every child. And strengthening practicing these values to serve as model for every child through hand-on, minds-on experiences inside and outside the classroom, providing every child activities meant to develop the body, the mind, and the spirit, teaching not only what you learn, but more important, how you learn. So that was Teacher Macrina philosophy of education. Now, let's proceed to our focus in this topic, which is to know the things that should be considered in formulating philosophy of education. So you as a teacher, your philosophy of education is your window to the world and compass in life. It means that education is way, door, window, or compass for us to have a better life. The next one is your philosophy of education is reflected in your dealings with students, colleagues, parents, and administrator. So our philosophy of education is reflected. When we say reflected, it is our reflection on how we deal with our students, colleagues, parents, and administrators. And your attitude toward problems and life as a whole has an underlying philosophy. So, as a teacher, your attitude toward problems has an underlying philosophy. The next one is your philosophy education is your concept of the learner, concept of what must be tough and how this must be tough. So these thoughts are the basis of your actions and decisions when you prepare to teach and when you teach. Teacher Macrina subscribes to the Christian philosophy because she believes that the learner is an embodied spirit and she wants to provide every child with activities that are meant to develop the learner's body, mind, and spirit. The fact that she is mindful of the development of the mind makes her a rationalist because she is after the holistic development of the learner body, mind, and spirit. She is also humanist in thinking and in practice. She also believes in the behaviorist philosophy because she accepts that the learner can be influenced by the environment. However, she does not totally adhere to the behaviorist philosophy because she does not agree that the learner can be totally influenced by his environment. So teacher Macrina is constructivist in philosophy because she does not agree that the learner has an empty mind. Rather, she believes that the child is full of ideas and it is her task to draw out these ideas. So teacher Macrina is also essentialist in orientation. She is convinced that her primary task is the child's mastery of the basic skills of reading, communicating in oral and written form, arithmetic, and computer skills. So she believes that mastery of these basic skills prepares the child to go beyond the basics. So her behaviorist philosophy makes her work hard for every child to experience success, which surely contributes to a favorable learning environment. So teacher Macrina is also essentialist and perennialist in thinking. What does she mean? Essentialist and perennialist thinking. When we say essentialism, it is an educational philosophy that strives to ensure that students acquire a common core of knowledge in a systematic or disciplined way. In contrast, perennialism is an educational philosophy that states one should teach the things that are everlasting importance to all individuals everywhere. So she believes in unchanging values of respect, honesty, love, and care for others, regardless of gender, race, ethnicity, nationality, appearance, and economic status, and therefore inculcates them in her lessons. And she's also cognitive in thinking and practice because like Brunner, she believes that modeling these values is the most effective way to teach these values. She wants to make use of hands-on, minds-on, hearts-on experiences inside and outside the classroom. What does she mean hands-on, minds-on, and hearts-on? So the hand-on, mind-on, and heart-on approach of Odyssey encourages the children to experience and engage in the learning with their hands, analyze with their minds, and invest with their hearts, as they are deeply involved in their learning process. This makes her a progressivist. So when we say progressivist, the teacher try making school interesting and useful by planning lessons that provoke curiosity. So teacher Macrina applies the progressivist dictum, learning by doing the whole world outside the classroom, easy classroom. She is also progressivist in the sense that she teaches learners not only subject matter but also how to learn. So it's nice to apply progressiveness when you are a teacher, because what makes a teacher happy is seeing their student learn. So teacher Macrina's philosophy of education is good as a teacher. So now let us remember our lessons. Let us always remember our lessons. This is the summary of our lessons. It is important that you make explicit your philosophy of education. So your philosophy education is your window to the world and compass in life. Always remember this. Your philosophy is your own thought and formulation, never formulated for you by another. That is why you were advised to begin stating it with praise. I believe it is best to state it in the concrete, not in the abstract like a theory, because this is your blueprint to daily life. So I want you to always remember this lesson, because this lesson helped us to formulate our own philosophy of education. And that's the end of our lessons. So thank you for listening.